Good morning once again. Welcome to summary of lesson number 4. I hope you've had a wonderful week and that you have taken the time to study the Word of God. Because only when you take the time to study the Word of God will you be blessed. Lesson number 4, sharing God's mission. Remember last week we learned that mission is an important assignment. So what is sharing God's important assignment? What is this mission all about? I read an amazing book, and what I learned from that book was that the religion of God is love. So the mission that I have and the mission that you have is to share God's love. That's the mission. Our main memory verse was taken from John chapter 13, verses 34 and 35. And it said, "A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another. As I have loved you, that you also love one another. By this all will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another." What an amazing verse. Is this really a new commandment? Absolutely not. The Bible is about God's love. The Old Testament talks about His love. The New Testament talks about His love. The prophecies is the prophecies of love. The judgment of God is the judgment of love. This is a letter of love from God to you and to me. So there's no new commandment, but Jesus is trying to remind us what love is. How do I show love? How do we express love? So the verse is telling us you share the mission by just sharing love. So Sunday told us about the gift of hospitality. In other words, a way to show love is to be hospitable, to be friendly. And it actually took us to Genesis chapter 18, verses 1 to 15. In this chapter, we read the story of Abraham. Abraham was sitting at the door of his house. So from where he was, he could actually see that 3 strangers were walking towards the direction of his house. Abraham doesn't just sit there and waits for them to come. He actually gets up and runs towards them and says, "Hi, I see that you're strangers here. Please come to my house. Allow me to wash your feet and allow me to prepare food for you so you can take a little rest. Once you're well rested and fed, you can continue on your journey." The strangers accept the invitation. And Abraham brings water to wash their feet. And Abraham asks his servants to prepare food for the strangers. As the food is being prepared, Abraham sits along with the strangers and he talks with them. This is a beautiful way to share love with others, by inviting them, by preparing food for them, by sitting with them and talking and listening to their stories. How do I share God's love? By practicing what Abraham practiced, hospitality. You know, Christmas is around the corner. When was the last time you were hospitable to someone you didn't know? When was the last time you invited someone for lunch at your place? When was the last time you sat with people you didn't know just to talk and to listen to them? This is a very simple way of sharing God's love to others. Now, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday talks about this. We read Genesis 18 and Genesis 19. The story on these 3 days is the story of Abraham interceding for the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. The strangers that came to visit him was really Jesus Christ with angels. And they told him that the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah were going to be destroyed. So Abraham starts interceding for those cities. Why? First of all, he had family members. He had his nephew Lot in Sodom and Gomorrah. And so Abraham says, Lord, if you destroy the city, my nephew will be destroyed too. And Abraham starts pleading with God and saying, Lord, don't destroy the righteous with the wicked. And he starts praying. And he says, Lord, if there's 50 righteous, would you destroy the city? And God says, no, if there's 50 righteous, I will not destroy the city. And Abraham intercedes. He actually prays 6 times, asking God's mercy to save the righteous, but also the wicked. Because if there was enough righteous in the city, the Lord was not going to destroy the wicked city. God was willing to give them another chance. How do we share God's love? By praying and interceding for others. When was the last time you prayed for a family member that is not doing the right things? When was the right time you intercede for someone that you didn't know? How many times have you prayed for a sinner that you want to see saved? Abraham in one day prayed 6 times. What a beautiful lesson for you and me. To intercede for sinners, for our family members, for our neighbors, for our cities. Not only once, not twice, but many times throughout the day. This is how you and I could be a blessing in the city where we are, in the country where we live. Thursday's summary was based on Genesis 12 verses 1 to 9. God called Abram and said, come out and go. I need to make you a blessing to others. You need to take my message of love to the whole wide world. Abram was 75 years old. He had all the excuses in the world to say, Lord, I'm too old. Lord, how can I move somewhere where I don't speak the language? I cannot be an immigrant now at 75. Lord, this is my home. My parents are here. My extended family's here. My culture, my traditions, my identity is here. But you know what Abram did? He did not offer any excuses. He packed his suitcases, his belongings. He took his wife and whoever wanted to come with him. And he left. He left his country. He left his culture in order to become a witness for God, taking the message of love to all the world, to all the places that he would encounter. God is calling you and God is calling me to continue to share in this mission of love. I pray that you will not find excuses. I pray that I will not find excuses, but actually that I will get up and I will go to be a witness of the love of God to all the people that I encounter. This is my prayer for you and for me, that we will be witnesses, that we will be a blessing to the people that we meet. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next week.